Today we're going to be talking about a show that just ended on Netflix called My Royal Nemesis. It's kind of like a fish out of water type of story. It's kind of like Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court, but in reverse. What we have here is a concubine or a court, you wouldn't say concubine, from the Joseon period. Hopefully I said that right. And she gets kind of transported to the future. She gets kind of blackmailed, framed for being a wicked concubine back in her time period. She gets poisoned and she wakes up and she's on the set of a movie in modern days. And a lot of stuff is going on in modern times in her life. It's what's happening back in her original time period. She runs into a guy who looks just like the man she loved back in her own time period. I guess you could say he was kind of reincarnated a little bit. And so she's trying to, that's basically the premise of the story. I'm not going to get into more than that. I will say, though, this show has some great chemistry between her two leads. Pardon me for not saying their names. They'll be in the title of this video. But they got great chemistry, especially in episode 1. They work off each other very well. He's kind of like this rich, he's kind of like a rich heir to this huge company. He's kind of battling with his cousin to take control when his grandpa dies. I love that part of the story. I'm kind of more interested in that. I'm not very much of a romance guy, even though this is kind of a rom-com type of thing. And it got just enough of that to keep me intrigued. Plus, the comedy is pretty good in this show for the most part. Which is kind of strange because a lot of Korean shows start off with a lot of comedy, and as the series goes on, next thing you know, you're in a murder mystery of some serial killer out there, and all the comedy's disappeared. You really don't get that far into this one, where the comedy is still in every episode. I feel like it's very strong at the beginning, but I think it's 14 episodes long. By the end, though, you kind of see them kind of stretching the plot along a little bit, but it's not too bad like you'll see in a lot of Korean shows. Where they just add a lot of fillers to this. You don't really get that in this series. For the most part, though, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy their relationship as they grew together. You get the enemies to lovers type of thing going on at the beginning. I think the lead actress, she's been in a lot of shows. She's a terrific actress, probably one of the best in Korea. I wouldn't say she's the best one, but she's probably in the top 10, maybe 15 actresses right now. She's really hot. She's been in a lot of shows here lately, maybe twice, 2 or 3 times a year now. She's been leading the way. This one, we bring out another side of her. She was the main villain in Glory. If you've seen that one, that was a great bully revenge Netflix there. She was the terrible enemy, the bully girl who gets her just desserts there at the end of the show. It's a very serious one. And this one, excuse me, this one I think is pretty much one of the first comedies that I've seen her in, like true comedies. She was in here recently on Amazon Prime. She was in Nice Not to Meet You, which is kind of like a comedy, but this one kind of goes a little bit further into that one. I will say the first 12, 13 episodes are really good, but the last episode, episode 14, you got your Korean formula, and at 13, the episode before the end, the last episode, you have to get them separated. I would say episode 14, they kind of kept the two leads apart too long in this one before bringing them back together for the final push of the series. She was, eventually she has to go back home, right? And she goes back home, and this part of the show, episode 14, really does drag on for the first half an hour of it. And then I kind of feel like we got this big buildup of who's going to take over the company, and I wish they would spent more time on that in episode 14. But that storyline gets all rushed and pulled together, and I just feel like 14 really kind of took this from a really good series to this okay average series that really drag it down. And there's also some parts of this, I know this is a comedy, and even you get like this weird time travel thing, so you do have to go into the fantasy realm. But seeing this small woman, she was just in court, right? She didn't train for fighting or anything like this. It ain't like she was lifting weights there, but seeing her beat up 4 or 5 grown men and toss them around like they're lightweights, kind of, I don't know. I didn't like it very much. I'm pretty sure it was there for comedic reasons, but for me, it was like, it's a little bit too far. You didn't really need her to be able to toss around these guys like that. But I do like the story of like I said, I just keep on going back to them fighting over the corporation, because that's really what I got into it too, and really got me through the 14 episodes, to be honest. Was that political intrigue, and I felt like that was, for the most part, handled very well, very correctly. Didn't really like the cousin, just like I'm not supposed to. But you also got a little bit of sympathy for him because he had a little boy, he had a son. So they had a pretty good relationship, I would say. But, he did a lot of underhanding things. The male lead, he's strong in this one as well. I've seen him in the various shows, but I can't pinpoint it. He's one of those faces that you've seen, but it's hard to pinpoint what show he's actually been in. He did a very well job. He held his own. Like I said, him and the female lead worked off very well together. Strong. And that's what was important. You get this little rom-com going. You have to have 2 strong leads. The supporting cast is really good too. And then, the interactions between these two were something that for a rom-com, is important for you to look forward to. And this show does a great job of doing that. You really look forward to these two interacting with each other, getting along and disagreeing, because when they disagree, it's kind of funny. That's probably like, the highlights of the show is when they get their little bickering going on back and forth. That was really great. Overall, I don't know, give this one a chance if you do like those kind of fish out of water type of shows. You can find it on Netflix right now. Have a great day, and until next time, bye.